of moving to Littleton, Colorado and just don't know where to start? Or you're wondering, what things should I take into consideration when I'm planning a move to Littleton, Colorado, since I don't maybe know the area? Well, you're in luck, because that's exactly what we're going to talk about today. I'm going to give you 8 things that you should consider when trying to decide what side of town or what part of Littleton, Colorado you want to move to. First, I want to say welcome to my channel, or welcome back if you've been here before. I'm Kathy Hansen, a local area realtor, and I'm also a suburban mom. Now, I moved my family here to Colorado 17 years ago, and I've raised all 3 of my kids here in the Littleton area. They've gone to 3 different high schools, which is one of the things that we're going to discuss today. One of the things that makes it really great here in the Denver metro area is that you can pick the school that fits your child's needs. So let's get into it. Now, the city of Littleton, or the area that we refer to as Littleton here, is quite large, actually. Littleton proper, the actual city of Littleton, is about 13 square miles. And you're going to see on the map here, this part is just Littleton proper, just the city of Littleton. But there are many other parts of Littleton, which you'll see on this next map. It's just my rough drawing to show you what all encompasses Littleton, because there's lots of county area in Littleton too. Now, Littleton is located in 3 different counties. It's in Douglas County, Jefferson County, and Arapahoe County. And with that, there's also 3 different school districts, which we're going to talk a little bit more about later in the video. But depending on where you work might dictate which side or which area of Littleton you want to live. And the second thing is access to the light rail. Is that important to you? So we have really great public transportation here in the metro area. Now, the light rail actually ends in Littleton on one of the rails or one of the lines. So you can take it from Littleton all the way up to downtown Denver and even beyond, but you can take it up to downtown Denver if you don't want to make that commute by car, by driving. So if you're working in downtown Denver and want to take that light rail and that's important, well, then we're going to want to make sure you are close to a light rail station or a light rail stop. The other times that people routinely or typically take the light rails is when you're heading up to downtown Denver for some of the big events like Rockies games and Broncos games and concerts, festivals, things of that nature. People regularly take the light rails, so that way you don't have to mess with parking and meters and paying for parking and those kind of things. So if that's important to you, then we want to make sure we're looking at areas that are surrounding or are close to a light rail station here in Littleton. And Littleton has a couple stops on the light rail, so you have a couple options. Now, the next thing we want to consider is being close to the downtown area of Littleton. Littleton has its own quintessential downtown area. It's super cute. And in that downtown area, there's restaurants, there's bars, there's boutique shops, there's mom and pop shops, ice cream shops, things along that nature. In the downtown area, they have events, they have festivals, they have parades. Santa comes at Christmas time. So there's always lots of fun things taking place in downtown Littleton, and just getting out there for a family day on a nice spring or summer day when the weather's really great, well, that's fun too. So if you want to be close to that downtown area where it's kind of walkable, you can walk to lots of different things. If that's important to you, then we definitely want to look closer to the downtown Littleton area. And then the fourth thing that we want to look at or consider are the school districts. So like I said earlier, Littleton is located in 3 different counties. We have 3 different school districts. So Douglas County Schools, Jefferson County Schools or Jeffco Public Schools, and Littleton Public Schools. And you can always search for the information, the ratings about those school districts online at niche.com or at greatschools.org. Both of those sites will tell you about the districts and will also tell you about some of the individual schools. So if school districts or the schools are important to you, then we want to make sure we're looking in the right spots. Now, most of the Denver metro area is on open enrollment. And so open enrollment means that you can virtually sign your kids up to go to whatever school you want as long as there's room at that school. So typically it's a first come, first serve. So you have to turn in your application usually at the beginning of the year, January, right after January 1st. You turn in your application. And then depending if the school is full or if they only have a few spots, but lots of kids that applied, then sometimes they'll go on a first come, first serve basis. And other times they'll go on a lottery system. So that's just situation specific and school specific. So being able to pick or being able to send your kids to schools that fit their needs is one of the things that makes living in the Denver metro area really great. So I have 3 kids. They went to 3 different Littleton high schools, so I'm pretty well versed. But what was really great is I was able to choose, and my kids also had some say in it, were able to choose the school that was a right fit for them, which in turn makes them more successful. And the 5th thing to consider is access to our recreation centers. So Littleton is filled with recreation centers. And these recreation centers, well, they're all different. And so some of them are part of the Foothills Parks and Rec District. Some of them are part of South Suburban Parks and Rec District. And that's because Littleton's so big, we have 2 different districts in the area. So if being close to one of these rec centers, now if you're moving here with kids, some of the things you want to think about are, do I want access to these rec centers in the winter? Do I want to be able to get there quickly and easily without having to drive on snow-packed or snow-covered roads? Because some of those days when we get some pretty big, thick, heavy snowstorms and you're getting cabin fever with your kids because you're all stuck in the house together, well, getting out to these rec centers, sometimes that's kind of nice. A lot of these rec centers have indoor pools with slides. A lot of them have indoor tracks, rock climbing walls. They have workout facilities, racquetball courts, basketball courts. So all kinds of fun activities that you can do indoors if that's important to you at the rec centers. Now the rec centers also have outdoor activities too, but I was just talking about maybe during the winter months if you wanted or needed to get out of the house for a while. Now these rec centers, they do have the outdoor sports as well. So they have batting cages and tennis courts and outdoor pools and slides and lap pools and different things along that nature too. So if being close to one of these rec centers is important to you, well, we're just going to want to keep that into consideration when determining which part of Littleton or which area of town you might be considering moving to. The 6th thing is, do you ski? Do you snowboard? Is getting up to those mountain communities important to you? Because if it is, then you might want to be on the west side of Littleton. You might want to be closer to the foothills because it will cut your drive time down some. So from the easternmost side of Littleton up to the ski resorts like Breckenridge, Vail, Keystone, you're probably looking at about a 2-hour drive. If you're on the western side of Littleton, you could be looking at an hour and a half. So you could have a difference of about 20 to 30 minutes depending on which side of town you live on. So if you're planning, or if you are a skier and a snowboarder and you're planning to get up to the mountains a lot, then maybe being on the west side of town might be something for you to consider as well. And the 7th thing is, do you want to be in a community with an HOA, or would you prefer to be in a community without an HOA? So with the HOAs, typically the older areas don't have them. So a lot of the areas surrounding downtown Littleton does not have HOAs. Now there are many new construction communities here in the Littleton area, and those new construction communities do have HOAs. So is it important to you to live without one? Is it important to you to be in an HOA that might have a pool and their own rec center and some amenities? If that's important to you, or if it's not important to you, we should consider that as well when determining which area or which part of Littleton might be the best fit for you. And then that leads me right into the last one, which is, do you want to be in a new construction community, or would you like to be in an established older home community? So Littleton has all different walks of life when it comes to different building types here. You can be in an older brick ranch home or an older community close to downtown Littleton that is full of character. And these communities, well, each house is a little bit different from the other. They're not cookie cutter, they're not tract homes. Or you can be in a tract home where there are 6 or 7 different designs and they all sort of look the same and they're all of the newer construction and they do have HOAs, which comes with some amenities. Or you can be on the very west side of town or very south side of town where you feel like you're away from it all, yet you're close enough 5 or 7 minutes away from the schools and the shopping and the stores. So just depending, do you want new construction? Do you want older established communities? Well, that's also going to dictate which part of town we should be looking at. So hopefully this video gave you some food for thought about moving to Littleton. Littleton has so much to offer, and I would love to be the one to show you around, to give you some advice of what different areas of Littleton, what it looks like, and how that might fit in with your real estate needs. If I can be of help or service to you in any way, please don't hesitate to reach out. All of my contact information is in the comment section below. I'm Kathy Hansen, a local area realtor. I'm also a suburban mom, and I've lived here in Littleton for 17 years. So if I could ask you one last favor, if you can hit that like button, let me know you liked this content. That helps me in figuring out what else should I make to put on this YouTube channel. And if you want to be notified when I do other videos, now I post a video every Tuesday, and every other Friday is new home or new construction tours. Every Tuesday is what is it like living in the Denver metro area. If you want to be notified when those videos post, we'll hit that subscribe button below. And I think that's all I have for you today. So I hope to catch you on the next video.